Aviation safety has always been data-driven and risk-based to a certain extent. For example, we take into account data from a past experience in order to make new regulations through a cost-benefit analysis. But in today's context, the discussion on data-driven risk-based approach arises from several issues. In a nutshell, a data-driven risk-based approach is a way for us to use data in a quantitative way to identify areas of greater safety risks so we can put in place the relevant mitigating measures to minimize the risk of an accident or serious incident.
Risks are a part of living. Every day we manage multiple risks in our environment. We actively seek out, collect, share, and use data to identify potential hazards and then take systematic actions to mitigate those risks. An important part of risk-based, data-driven decisions is the application of the safety continuum. Being able to proactively flag potential issues before they become realized and acting upon them to prevent accidents from occurring is an important aspect of our safety approach.
Well, it depends on the type of risk. So as a state, we are interested in the risks that affect the entire state or cut across sectors or affect the entire sector. And for this, we have to work collaboratively and very closely with industry to get data from them, to interface closely with their safety management systems so that we have the information that we need for analysis at the state level. Sometimes we also need information at the regional level. For example, data from different ANSPs and carriers would be useful for us for further analysis. And to this end, CAAS and other states in the Asia-Pacific region have worked closely with MITRE to do safety risk assessment at the regional level. We also are interested in risks at the organizational level, and we use what is called an organizational risk profile to do this.
We look at severity and likelihood. Severity is based on the seriousness of the outcome, and the likelihood is how often that outcome could occur. To assess risk, we look at factors such as product type, complexity, and exposure to the public. For example, the personal risk of skydiving is much higher than being a passenger on an airliner. However, data indicates that society expects the safety regulator to spend more of its time and energy on the safety of the airline operations due to the severity of the potential outcome. To enable this, we encourage a positive safety culture that promotes transparent reporting and data sharing. We use this data to proactively address risks.
COVID-19 really presented a challenge. The impact was sudden, it was unprecedented, and it was prolonged. Data was quite scarce in the early days, also due to the plunge in traffic. And I believe that in this environment, the safety culture that we have built over the years really came in and served us well in identifying and mitigating the risks. So regulators and industry came together, exchanged information, shared experiences, and I think this really contributed to a wealth of knowledge that helped us deal with this COVID risk in a very short amount of time. From CAAS perspective, we looked at our state safety program, adjusted our safety risks, and put in place new safety performance indicators to track these risks, and we are continuing to mitigate and monitor the implementation of those measures. In summary, I think it's important, more than ever, that we take a data-driven, risk-based approach to identify our risks in a more structured manner and be able to put our resources where they are needed most.
We can use risk-based decision-making in a lot of ways. In fact, we've already applied it in response to challenges from the COVID-19 pandemic. We consulted our medical experts to help us identify medical risks to aircraft operation and the protection of our personnel. We evaluated antibacterial cleaning fluids to ensure passenger safety without compromising the aircraft systems. We enabled the transportation of critical medical supplies by issuing an exemption to cargo regulations. We used risk-based decision-making in our certification and oversight activities to decide when to conduct virtual evaluations. We also increased our engagement with our international partners through the use of virtual tools. This includes our participation in the ICAO Council Aviation Response Task Force and the recent ICAO High-Level Conference on COVID.